They can't stand it. They cannot stand the fact that they are no longer relevant. They can't stand the fact that millions of people are no longer watching their polished turds. They can't stand the fact that normal people have taken back their power. And normal people, they are now getting their news from other normal people. But what bothers them the most, what keeps them up at night, what has them shook more than anything else, their loss of influence. They are not worried about getting fired. They are not worried about their woke welfare expiring. What concerns them the most is the lost influence, because the loss of influence, it represents what matters most to the mainstream media, a complete loss of power. There is just no other way to say it. MSNBC is in deep shit. Comcast has split from the network. There are rumors that Elon Musk could be interested in buying this dump. When they check the ratings every morning, they discover that thousands and thousands of people have abandoned the network. With CNN, it was a gradual decline. 100,000 viewers there, another 100,000 viewers here a few months later. But what we have seen the past 2 weeks from MSNBC, this has been a rapid decline. Right now, MSNBC is in full damage control. They are doing everything they can to scoop the water off the Titanic. My inside sources are telling me that MSNBC, they have contracted the services of the Yentas from The View. They sent the whoopee cushion to MSNBC with a high-powered generator to crank her leg so she could unleash the boodle breeze. They were hoping the Category 5 winds would be strong enough to blow the water off the decks of the Titanic. The good news is, the plan worked. Bad news is, the winds of the boodle breeze were so powerful, it capsized the ship. This morning on the Morning John Scarborough, he did something that was unimaginable just a month ago. John was sitting there behind his desk with his insufferable wife, Mika Bazooka. They were doing what they do best, whining and complaining. John Scarborough, he ended up having another emotional meltdown. But in the middle of that shit sandwich was something that we rarely see on MSNBC. In the midst of his bitching and moaning, John Scarborough, he actually told the truth. The problem is, MSNBC has been lying for so long, no one believed him. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Quick reminder, I am still taking nominations for the second annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards next month. If you have a suggestion, if you know someone or something that experienced huge embarrassing failure this year, shoot me an email, btlkc84@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Wingman Snacks. As you guys know, this is my favorite time of the year. We're in the heart of football season. We're a month into the NBA regular season. And what's even better, we just defeated the Deacons at Woke United Methodist in arguably the most important election in my lifetime. What better way to celebrate our landslide victory than devouring your soon-to-be favorite snacks from Wingman Snacks? Wingman Snacks offers a variety of happy hour favorites that are the perfect complement while watching sports. Chipotle snack crackers, or my personal favorite, the Cayenne pretzel rods. My wife, she has already eaten a full bag of the 5 o'clock crunch snack mix while she is watching The Real Housewives of Des Moines on Bravo. Wingman Snacks is a proud veteran-owned business, and they donate a portion of their profits to the people that need it the most. I'm not talking about the undocumented migrants. Wingman Snacks, they donate a portion of their profits to our military veterans and our first responders. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL10, BTL10. Save 10% off your first purchase with Wingman Snacks. This morning on the Morning John, Mika Bazooka and John Scarborough, they had Jim VandeHei on the throne. Jimmy V is a journalist from Axios. Now, compared to CNN and MSNBC, Axios would be considered moderate. But generally speaking, and compared to other news sources that normal people rely on, Axios leans a little bit to the left. They're not out of control. I have used Axios as a source several times in the past, but I wouldn't say that Axios supports the Trumper, and they damn sure don't support independent media. Over the weekend, Jimmy V, he was giving an acceptance speech at some award ceremony for some doofus award that he had won himself. During his speech, Jim VandeHei attacked people on Twitter and YouTube who cover the news, which immediately made him captain of the bomb squad in the eyes of Johnny Scarborough. As you guys know, Johnny and Mika, they have been upset lately with independent media. MSNBC, along with their pretend friends in the media, they want us regulated. They want influencers on Twitter and YouTube who expose the mainstream media, who highlight their lies and propaganda. They want us regulated. And if they were being honest, they would probably admit that they just want us to go away. MSNBC played a clip of Jimmy V's acceptance speech as John Scarborough introduced him to his dwindling audience. Now, normally, this is the point where the host of the show, in this case Johnny Scar, hands over the spotlight to their guest and allows them to speak. But Johnny was so upset. He was so angry this morning. He was so bitter about losing his audience to independent content creators. John Scarborough unleashed an emotional tirade against independent media. Watch it for yourself.
When all of the garbage is flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do, lying about everything up and down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do. Critics of the press are feeling more empowered than ever to lie more than ever. I've had friends for years going, oh, you know, I'm so overwhelmed, Joe, by the news. I don't read the news. I go, oh, where do you get your news then? Epic Times. I go, oh,
God.
You get your news from a website run by Chinese, by conspiracy theorists in a Chinese religious cult. That is where you get the news. No. Or if social media, people lying every day, every hour, every minute about the news. If somebody pops off on Twitter or some other social media and they lie, they make mistakes. You know what the cost of that is? Nothing. They do it again. In fact, it helps them because the algorithms are rigged. So you stir up shit, and the more you can get people angry, the more followers you get, but also now it's monetized to help you lie.
The more you hate, the more you make.
You know what's crazy about this? John Scarborough, he's not wrong. I receive hundreds of emails every day. I am so blessed to have you guys in this audience because you guys make my job so much easier by sending me suggestions for topics. Most days, I don't have to spend 20, 30, 45 minutes looking for topics. All I got to do is check my email, and I've got dozens of suggestions from you guys in my inbox. Every day, 7 days a week, someone will send me a topic suggestion with their source being Twitter. Now, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, what they sent me is complete bullshit. And look, it's not their fault. I'm not mad at them for sending the suggestion. It is not their job to confirm the accuracy of the story. That's my job. There are people on Twitter with substantial followings who spread false information. Whether knowingly or unknowingly, it really doesn't matter. I guess they don't care because they're going to get paid either way, which is fine. That's fine. You do you. I don't operate that way because I value my credibility. But the point is, Joe Scarborough, he's right. People can spread false information on Twitter and YouTube, and there are really no consequences. Their only consequence is making money. But this is a case where even though Joe Scarborough is right, he's still wrong because you are not in a position to call someone else a liar. You, Joe Scarborough, you are not in a position to accuse someone of spreading propaganda. Even though you are telling the truth here, for most people watching, it's still a lie. And the reason it's a lie is because of where the information is coming from, a known liar. MSNBC has painted themselves into a real corner. They are finally trying to be somewhat honest, but it's too little too late. Once you are busted in a lie, and for John Scarborough and Mika Bazooka, this is not just one lie, this is a pattern of lies. Once you're busted, there is no coming back. You've already lost your credibility, which is why you have lost your audience. And that is the reason we are starting to see a semblance of honesty in the mainstream media. They're all losing their audience. During that segment, in one of the rare moments that Jim VandeHei was allowed to speak, he talked about the morale in the mainstream media right now. Now, according to Jimmy V, reporters, journalists, they are demoralized. Well, no shit. I would imagine that they're demoralized. They just spent the last year or so trying to convince us that Johnny B. Biden was smarter than Elon Musk. Then he showed up to that debate and he couldn't outsmart Jake the Bongo Tapper from CNN. The media, they decided to pivot. They decided to shift strategies. They tried to convince us that cackling Cam Harris had the answers to all the questions. But even when Cam was given the questions ahead of time and she was allowed to cheat, she still could not come up with the answers. So I would imagine that the mainstream media is demoralized because they lost. But according to Jimmy V from Axios, that is only a small part of the low morale throughout the media. He claimed that morale is low because no one believes them. Doesn't matter how great their reporting is, no one believes it. Doesn't matter if they come across a big story and they confirm all the information is accurate, no one believes it. I mean, that has got to be incredibly disheartening. And to make matters worse, content creators that normal people do believe, do trust, they are reliant on the media for their content. Jimmy V whined because guys like me would not exist without the mainstream media. It's not fair. They're allowed to succeed based on our lies. They're making all the money when we're the ones creating the lies for their content. Yeah. He's absolutely right. I have no problem admitting that. The vast majority of my videos, it is me reacting to the lies in the mainstream media. But here's the thing. My job would not exist if the media was doing their job right. If we had an honest media, if we had a media that was impartial, I would have to find something else to do. If they came to that realization 4 years ago, maybe networks like MSNBC would have a chance to survive. Problem is, they didn't. And now they've lost all credibility, while the credibility of independent creators continues to rise. Give me your thoughts on this. John Scarborough has another meltdown on MSNBC. The media is complaining about independent content creators making money off what they call misinformation, when the reality is the mainstream media has been doing the same thing for years now. Even though John Scarborough was right, he was still wrong because he is not in a position to accuse other people of lying. Why do we continue to see these meltdowns in the media? Are they worried about their jobs, or are they worried about their lost influence? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.